It feels like many, many lifetimes ago when we gathered here in this sanctuary on October 8th, 2023, 332 days ago. The magnitude of the tragedy that was still very much unfolding was becoming clearer and clearer to us. 11 months later, the horror continues. Each week we read about another fallen soldier. Every day we continue to pray for the captives. More than 100 of them. We don't know how many are still alive. We yearn for some sort of a negotiated deal that might get the remaining hostages home. And there's no end in sight to this terrible, bloody conflict that, yes, brings suffering and agony to innocents on both sides. And here at home, anti-Semitism continues to cause us concern and anxiety. Anti-Israel rhetoric on college campuses and in our city streets continues to unnerve us. We are in pain. We are brokenhearted. We are shredded. And on top of everything else, we are exhausted. It has been a marathon. We have tossed and turned through far too many sleepless nights, and we have shed rivers and oceans of tears. And we have poured out our souls online and in personal conversations. We have shown up at rallies and vigils. We have, many of us, traveled to Israel perhaps numerous times. We've contributed tzedakah, and we've packed duffel bags filled with gear for our soldiers. We are tired, but we will not give up. We refuse to give up. And we must never, ever give up. And we must also remember that whatever losses we have personally experienced, whatever trauma we have endured ourselves, there are those who have experienced far worse, unimaginably worse. Tonight, we remember 6 precious souls who endured the unimaginable for almost 11 months. Snatched from their homes or stolen from a music festival, they went through torture. And their families, dear God, their families, what they have endured, no parent, no sibling, no loved one should ever have to endure. And then in an instant, for them and their families, and for us as well, it was over. So we gather tonight to pay tribute to the lives they lived and to think about what mattered to them, their hopes, their dreams, their loves. We gather to acknowledge and bear witness to the fact that the hell they went through at the hands of the terrorists, the hell their families have been through, and the hell that we, their extended family, has gone through is because they were Israelis, because they were part of Am Yisrael, the Jewish people. And we gather as well to acknowledge the heroism and the pain of their loved ones who never gave up on them, who never gave up trying with all of their might to bring their loved ones home. And tonight we acknowledge that as much as we tried, in the end, we failed. We could not, despite all of our efforts, bring them home. Our sorrow then tonight is not just the loss of these precious lives. That would be dayenu. That would be enough to gather and mourn these 6 beautiful souls. Our sorrow is also connected to the sadness we feel about our own powerlessness, our impotence. Despite everything we did, audiences we had with presidents and prime ministers, with senators and congresspeople, with emirs, and even the Pope himself, we failed to bring them home. Despite months of fighting, painful losses on both sides, fallen soldiers who gave the ultimate sacrifice. We failed to bring them home. So tonight we mourn also the sense of security and power that perhaps we never even had. But there must be hope. There's always hope. Even in the darkest moments, there is tikva. At the beginning of this awful chapter in our people's history, we heard again and again in Israel and here as well, we had it in a large banner at the entrance of the synagogue, the slogan, B'yachad nenatzeach, together we shall prevail. At such a moment as this, I can't tell you what that even means, to prevail. Or as the word can also be translated, to achieve victory. So tonight, let me suggest we focus on the first part, biyachad, togetherness. We are here, biyachad, together. We mourn, biyachad, together. We are stronger, biyachad, and we're better, biyachad, more resilient, more hopeful, kinder, more determined, more loving when we are biyachad, when we're together. Now we are brokenhearted, but we know that the path to healing, if it's at all possible, is biyachad. And we know that we are not the first generation to encounter such challenges. There's a psalm that is traditionally recited as part of our daily morning prayers, Psalm 147. It's more than 2,500 years old. And in that ancient poem, we learn one of God's holy names. God is called Harofeh Lishvurei Lev, the healer of the brokenhearted. Our hearts are broken. We call to you, Eternal One, healer of broken hearts, and we ask you to help us together to find the strength to remember with love, to move forward with resilience. Healer of the brokenhearted, we call to you. We are broken. We are gutted. We are in pain. Hold us. Help us. Heal us.